Hello? Are we live? Yes, we are. It's saying we are. It's been a few weeks, you see. I'll have to get used to this again. Right, I know what I'm going to do straight away. I'm just going to see who's here. Well, hello, everybody. Wednesday evening. Chris, how are you doing? I'm still planning on dropping in next month at Alconbury. Probably be the morning on Friday the 14th of October. We can discuss the steering rack bolts info. Yeah, if I can arrange that, then maybe we'll have a little bit of time to go through it and make something of it. So we'll see how that goes. If you give us a few days notice, and I'll see what I can work out there. That'd be very interesting. Anyway, nice for you to stop by, Chris, and join the live stream. It'd be very good to meet you as well. Who else have we got? Hi, Steve. How are you? Oh, yeah, Steve. Haven't heard from you for a while. What are you up to? I've put this live stream on tonight for a specific reason, which I'm gonna go through in a minute. I'll just go through a few people that are actually here that have been waiting. Hi, Vivian. Good evening to you. Yeah, I know you're popping down tomorrow. I got your message, so I'll be waiting for you. It'll only take 5 minutes to fit that fuel pipe anyway, so I fit plenty of them. So I just hope it's the right pipe. It wouldn't. No, actually, it wouldn't be funny if it was the wrong one. But yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. So unless I come down with something overnight and I'm not in work tomorrow, but I'm sure I will be. Steve, the Mark 5 Mondeo uses a Peugeot engine. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about tonight. Peugeot engine. Uh, where are we? Maybe Ford had found out the error of their ways and done the 2016S. Uh, have you tried a vacuum pump seal kit? No, no. We only bought one pump. It was about £100, like a pattern pump, and I haven't even fitted that one yet. So if I get the time to find the seal kits, I will do, because it's the same as the drive shafts on them Mondeos, the inner joints. Oh my God! So I've just been informed the mic was muted. So we're going to have to start again. I have no idea why the mic was muted. When I started the stream, it goes into like a little studio bit where it shows you the mic working, and everything was working. The mic was working, the camera was working. Well, this is working out bloody well, isn't it? That means I've got to start, I've got to go through this all over again. So, hello, Chris. How are you doing? Thanks for stopping by. I've just spent 5 minutes talking, and there's been no sound. Oh. Anyway, yes, Chris. It'll be great to see you when you come down, and I will bring that wad of information you sent me about the electric steering racks, and we'll go through it, and maybe we can do something with it, make a video of it or something, and put it out there. I'm sure we can sort something out. Just give us a few days' notice. Brilliant. Sorry, Vivian. Obviously, you didn't hear a word I was saying, but I'll see you tomorrow when you pop down, and I'll stick your petrol pipe on. No problem. Have a good evening. Yeah, I'll just say hello to a few people, then I'm going to bang on about what the reason I put this live stream out tonight in the first place. So, Norwegian Mechanic, hello to you. Nice, thanks for stopping by. I don't recall seeing your channel before, so you must be new here, I think. Am I right? But anyway, thanks anyway. Stephen France, hi Stephen. Good evening to you, and thank you too for stopping by. Miroslav Cleric, I hope I said your name right. Yep, thank you too. Thanks for joining the live stream. Chris McGuire, hi Chris, thank you as well. Mark Wilson, hi Mark, how are you? Yeah, what's that? Just had to put an engine in my 2-litre Mondeo. What Mondeo is that? Is it a Mark 3, 4 or 5? That's what I want to know, because that's the subject of tonight, engines. Nico, hi to you. Hello from Finland. Thank you very much for stopping by. Now, one last one. Usually fixing and tinkering. I haven't seen your channel either, so you must be new as well. Well, hello to you. Hope you're good. You need to do a Focus Mark 1 video while you still have some as rentals. Yes, I know. I will do. When I get the time, what I'll probably do is I will stick one on the ramp and I'll go around it, and I'll just I'll walk and talk. I'll do one of them. That means I haven't got to do a great deal. I like videos like that. And Sharok, is that it? Sharok. Hello from Norway, or hello to you from England, while it's still England. Anyway, what I was going to say, the title is Rarer Than Rocking Horse Shit. Now, YouTube didn't seem to be too impressed with the word shit, so I had to take the I and the S out. Well, I had to rearrange it anyway so that they didn't pick up on it. Otherwise, they were getting a bit funny about it. It seems that you can't really say the word shit anymore without YouTube getting annoyed. So anyway, here's the problem I've got. The Mark 5 Mondeo 2-litre diesel. I think it's the code of the engine the 2-litre diesel, 150 brake horsepower, T7CF engine code. These are the engine codes that go in all the taxis we've got from 2015 to 2018. Now, before COVID was here, if we had an engine go wrong or blow up, normally the crankshaft shells would bugger up and they would destroy the crankshaft. So you can either fling the engine away and get another engine. We never went down the route of having an engine rebuilt because you can just, for the time and expense and messing around and all that, you can just go on eBay or something like that and buy a replacement engine, a second-hand engine. We use a salvage company called Rawn's, and they've been very good over the years. Whenever we want an engine, we just pick up the phone, tell them what we want, and they'll get it. If they don't have an engine, they will phone up one of their contacts who probably has got an engine. They will buy the engine in and then sell it on to us. It's nice and simple. So, but obviously COVID come along, the price of everything started to go up. I'll give you an example. We bought an engine around about early 2020. It had done 10,000 miles, and this engine came with, this was the 2-litre diesel engine for the Mark 5 Mondeo. It had done 10,000 miles, and it came with everything on it. The pump, the injectors, everything was on it. The only thing it didn't have on it was the DPF, obviously. And when we received that engine, it cost about £800, and it was like brand new still. And the reason, the car that it came out of, it for some reason it caught fire, but the engine was okay. Obviously, during COVID, the price of everything has gone up. Now, if we look at the last engines we were able to get, had 100,000 miles or more on them, and they were ranging from 1,500 upwards to like £2,000. We've had one of the taxis now, the engine's locked up in one of the cars, so it's completely seized up for whatever reason, I don't know. We need an engine. So here's the problem. I've phoned up Rawn's and they've said, no, we don't have an engine. Let's get back to you. They've made their rounds and all their contacts. They've got back to me and said, no, none of our contacts have got an engine. So I've then gone onto eBay. I found one engine which seemed really dodgy. So I thought I'd leave that one alone. All the other engines I found were either in another country, and I don't fancy importing an engine in from another country. And secondly, they were the other engines are just basically spares or repair. And it's like, I don't want to buy a spares or repair engine. I could sell a spares or repair engine. What bloody good is a Mondeo 2-litre diesel engine for spares or repair? What are you going to get out of it that's going to be any good? Because I can tell you for now, the engines in these taxis, once they blow up, there's practically nothing on them that's any good. All the bloody tappets are worn out. The rockers are all worn out. The pistons might well be okay, but that's debatable. The crankshaft, generally speaking, the crankshaft's buggered, because once them big end shells get knocked out, they're going to damage the crankshaft journal, and that's going to be the end of it. It's going to need some machine work and oversized shells and everything. But anyway, I can't find an engine for one of these Mondeos on eBay now. They seem to have all dried up, like they've all been sold and there's no more left. So we've got in touch with Ivor Searle Engines, which are like quite a big, they used to rebuild a lot of engines. I think they're based in Soham in Cambridgeshire, and we used them years ago. I haven't used them for a long time now, so I don't know what exactly they do anymore, but we got a hold of them and I told them, can they rebuild one of these engines? And they said, well, we don't really rebuild engines anymore. We only sell like stock engines, and we certainly don't keep them engines. So they couldn't help me. They do a bit of machine work, don't get me wrong, they still do a bit of machine work, but from what the guy was saying, they don't actually rebuild engines anymore. And I thought, well, there's nothing I can do. They're not going to take my engine. So I've got an engine that's still a runner, but it's clapped out. It needs a complete rebuild. and they're not going to touch it. I phoned up Lindau Engines in Peterborough. They don't do these Peugeot engines either. So I'm stuck now with a dead taxi, knackered engine, and I've got another engine in the workshop which needs a rebuild. I've got no one to rebuild it. I don't know if they can be rebuilt. I don't know if any one of them engine rebuilders would touch one of these engines, because I've never gone down that path. But it's the very fact that I can't find an engine now. But then I've got another option. I got in touch with a guy from Ford, from TC Harrison. You're not going to believe this one. He gave me the price of an engine, which is about £3,800 plus VAT for an engine. And if we had to go down that route out of desperation, we may well have to buy one. But here's the thing. Can't get an engine because they're all back order. So that means they're in back order at the factory, no doubt in Germany. And they can't give us a time or a date when an engine is going to be available and sent over here. So but even if Ford did have an engine or a supply of engines over here and we was to buy one, the big question I've got is, there's no way I would want to put a brand spanking new engine in one of these taxis without fitting a brand spanking new turbo to it. Because I'm not going to take a turbo off an engine that's done 300,000 miles and put it on a brand new engine. That is literally bloody suicide. Considering a few weeks back we had a turbo blow up and it caused the car to the engine to run on its own oil. So that could well be the end of a new engine if we were to fit it. So once you've paid your 3.8 plus VAT for a new engine, what's a new turbo? 600 plus on top of that. And then you've got your, I don't know if a new engine from Ford comes with a cam belt. I would presume it would come with a new cam belt on it, although I don't know. So obviously there's more bits and pieces you're probably going to have to bolt onto it. But anyway, that's what I wanted to say. There is a significant or a complete lack of these engines now. So if you've got a Mark 5 Mondeo 2-litre diesel with the T7 CF engine code, 150 brake horsepower, I'd say to you, keep your engine serviced up, don't thrash them too much, and try and make them last, because if your engine blows up, you could find yourself in a situation where you cannot physically get yourself a new engine. A few years ago, it was easy. Just get a second-hand engine and get someone to put it in. Now, I mean, I literally cannot get an engine. So what more can I say? Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to go through a few of the comments. Historical Association, hello. Hello, thank you very much for stopping by. Over there in Poland. These guys here, they come over from Poland, and it was your channel, wasn't it? You come to the garage and shook hands and said hi and everything and met Monica and all that. Brilliant. Excellent. It was very nice to talk to you. It was great, actually. It really is nice when people come down and sort of like face to face and meet you. It's I don't know why. It's like we're only sort of like fixing cars, but I guess it's a good little community, because all you people can get together now. If you've got problems in your cars, you don't have to just ask me. You'll find other people here who have questions, and you might know the answer to someone else's question, and vice versa. So it's great, you know. I shall carry on. Hello, Anthony. Hello from Essex. Well, hello. Thank you. What's this one? Lewis. An Evoque with 2.2 diesel in it. Trouble after changing a fuel filter with air in line. Any tips? Don't have the official vacuum tool. Is it called the Puma engine? I'm not too sure what's in them. But if you've got, I'm not even up what system that engine's got. If it's got an electric pump in the fuel tank, then you shouldn't have to bleed it unless there's a little bleed valve on top of the filter. Usually with electric pumps in the tank, you can just crank them and they'll go. If it hasn't got electric pump in the tank, then usually what I would do is I would take the return pipe off the fuel filter or the return fuel line going back to the tank, find a connection there, separate it, and then you can put a hose on it. You know, one of these, you can get these stand-up fluid extractors where you just pump the handle and it sucks fluid, it sucks oil. You can connect one of them onto that fuel pipe, and you can start sucking while you crank the engine at the same time, and it'll draw the fuel through the pipe that goes back to your fuel tank. Thus, that means the fuel's going in through the feed pipe into your engine, and you're sucking from the pipe going out of the engine back to the tank, and that should pull out all the air out and get your car started. That's the best I can say. But without actually seeing the pipes on the engine and everything, I can't be much help. You've got to find the right pipe. But a lot of these cars, they'll have a little screw or something on top of the filter that you can unscrew to let the air out. It's difficult without actually seeing it. Some cars can be a right pain to get started again once you change the filter. Stuart, hi Stuart. Mark 5 Mondeo that keeps overheating, overheating and leaking coolant. Funny that, because my next video, which I've already made, which I'm going to put out probably Friday when I get the chance to put it together, and it takes flipping ages to make these videos, not to actually film them. That's the easy bit. It's bloody putting them on a computer, putting all the bloody clips together, and then it's all the bullshit, sort of like, I don't know, when you export the video and then you've got to compress it and make it smaller. That's what takes the time. Because I use a program called Handbrake. It's really good, but it just takes forever. But anyway, getting back to your question, keeps overheating and leaking coolant. Well, if it's leaking coolant, is that why it's overheating? Obviously, if you've changed the thermostat, that's the whole housing, I guess. There's other things that leak on them cars, quite a few things that leak. You've got the EGR valves that leak, and you'll know that because it'll run down and it'll drip off your oil filter. The radiators leak, but you've got to look down the radiators where the fans are, and then look down the edges of the radiator and see if it's all wet down there, because they tend to leak from the edges. Where the end casings of the radiators go onto the main core, you'll see all the pink antifreeze down there. So you've got your EGR valve to look out for. You've got your radiators to look out for. The water pumps leak. And also, as what's going to be in my next video, I've got a water pump. The car I was doing kept flinging up an ECU code saying engine overheating, even though the temperature gauge was staying pretty much in the central position, and we were sort of like scratching our heads over it. And it turns out the actual water pump impeller was still turning, but once you got some speed up and started driving the car, it wasn't spinning the water properly. Because when I took the water pump out, I could spin the impeller, and the cog that the cam belt sits on was spinning as well, both together. But if I held the impeller and spun the cog, the impeller was like notchy, like dot, 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 dot. It had resistance, so it was turning the water, but not properly. Once I changed the water pump, it cured the overheating problem, well, the engine over temperature problem. So there's a whole host of things on them cars that leak. You've got to check all the hoses and everything. So if you can get someone get it up on a ramp or something, and get someone to have a good look over it. I've put loads of videos out on all the bloody various leaks in them cars. So it's just a case of having a good look around. Lucas, hello. I don't have a Mondeo Mark 5, but an S-Max Mark II. Same wheel switches. I have got Sync 2, but the right-hand switches for the volume track don't work. I'd say it's your, if they're on your steering wheel, I'd say it's your clock spring. If you've replaced the switches, then all that's really left is the clock spring, because them switches, everything on your steering wheel, the airbag, the horn, the switches on for your radio and all that, they all go through the clock spring behind the steering wheel. And what seems to be quite a common thing on these Mondeos is the wires in the clock spring break. It's normally the horn that stops working, but it can be anything. It can be the airbag stop working. I've had multiple things go wrong, and we've changed loads of them clock springs, absolutely bloody loads of them. So I would go for that then. Jason, having problems with a Mark III Mondeo 2.5 V6. Well, that sounds expensive. What problems have you got? Billy No Mates, hello. Do you believe in remapping? Well, from what I've heard from people that have had it done, it's been great. They've noticed the extra power, no problems. So it's not something, I've never had a car myself and had it done, but yeah, I think if you want to do it, then I wouldn't worry too much about it. Don't think it's going to blow your car up. If it's a Mondeo, then certainly not, because all the people that I know that have had it done, I mean, we're not talking a great deal here anyway. You will get a bit of extra power out of your car, but you know that the manufacturers restrict your engines anyway through the ECU. So all you're doing is unleashing a little bit more power out your car. So yeah, I've got nothing against it. I would say if you want to do it, do it. Adam Potter, hello to you, Adam. Thanks for joining the stream. James Bagnall, hello James. Loved the Focus gearbox video the other day. Well, I had to do something with it before I bunged it in the trash can. I just didn't have the heart to fling that gearbox away without taking it apart. I just wanted to see what the damage was. Got me worrying about the gearbox on my 105k Mark III gearbox, Mark III Focus. It had a brand new EcoBoom engine a few months ago. Well, the only reason the gearbox I had blew up was because the reversing light switch had fallen to pieces. The electrical piece was just hanging there. And do you know, I had no intention of making a video about that. I didn't even change the gearbox in it. I just sort of like witnessed it. I wish I'd got my camera out and filmed the car being driven into the garage, the noise it was making, and filmed the reverse light switch dangling in the air. But because the switch had fallen to pieces, and this is the thing, I don't know why the switch was in two halves. For all I know, whoever had owned that car had taken it to somebody, and someone mentioned in the comments, I think, that someone might have undone that switch with a spanner, thinking it was the level to top the gearbox oil up, and they buggered the switch and just left it, or something like that, or maybe it was in one piece, but they damaged it and then it just fell to pieces. I don't know. But for some reason, that switch had fallen to pieces. All the oil in the gearbox had come out the bloody reversing light switch, and it lost all its gearbox oil. So for your car, all you've got to really do is, if you can do it yourself, fine. If not, get a mechanic to just check the oil level. It's easy enough to check on one of them Focuses. Just check the oil level or have the gearbox oil replaced. And that's all you can do. Make sure there's no gearbox leaks from the drive shaft oil seals or anything like that. If you've got the right oil level in the gearbox, touch wood, you shouldn't have any problems. Anyway, I'll move on. Yes, thanks, Ivan. My woman Ken phoned me up and told me I've just been yapping on for 5 minutes solid and there was no sound. It was flipping annoying because it's like before I even joined the live stream, I saw the audio level was working. So I don't know what happened there. Well, I did have a problem with this StreamYard yesterday. I couldn't even do anything with it. I had to. I literally, I've got Safari web browser I can't use. I have to use Google Chrome, and it wasn't working. I couldn't even get into my account. I had to put Google Chrome in the trash. I think it's because this computer's too old. It's just not supported anymore. So I had to download a newer version of Google Chrome, and then it all started working again. So. Hello, Paul. How much do you charge to set headlights on a facelift Focus? Well, it won't be much to set headlights, will it? It depends if there's a problem with them. If it's just straightforward alignment, chances are you've got a couple of little Allen key screws on each headlight. You just put an Allen key in it and turn it and set it to the right level. Because down at MOT garage, there's a headlamp beam setter, so you can set the headlights bang on. So I'm not actually down there now, but I shouldn't think they're going to charge much. I mean, you're probably talking about less than 20 quid to set them up. So it is something pretty much any garage can do. But it's no big, as long as the adjusters turn, you're talking about literally a space of, you'd have them done in about a minute to just turn a few screws. Yes, I'm just skipping past all the no audio. The sound has gone, the sound has gone. Oh dear. You know, I didn't even see all the comments saying there was no sound. I was too busy talking, you know, to even notice. And then when Ken phoned me up and told me there was no audio, I only noticed it in the top of the screen. There was a little symbol saying like the speaker symbol with a line through it, and I thought, oh great. I like this one. Interceptor. Hello. You would have to repeat everything for the last 5 minutes. Yes, I will. Thank you very much for that. James Scruton, Mondeo Mk5, the front window screen, only the passenger side works. Is there 2 fuse for this? Because, do you know what, I haven't had any problems with the screens on the Mk5, but I do know that most cars would have a left and right fuse. They'd have a fuse for either side. So you'd have to get your manual out if you got one. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head without, I mean, I'd have to look on auto data on the fuses to actually answer that. But I would probably say there is a separate fuse for each side. So you can check each fuse once you find out what fuses you're looking at. But obviously, like I say, you have to get onto auto data or get your manual out, which will show you. If it's not the fuse, If it's just one side, then it will be that side of the screen is a problem with the wiring. A broken wire on the screen or something. Let me just... Wish I could lip read. You know, whenever I put these live streams out, they never seem to go according to plan. There's always something. Hi, Mark. Any chance you know where I could get a timing pin bolt for a 1.8 TDCI 56 Galaxy? Drop mine into the alternator bracket. Can't get the alternator bracket off to get to it. Oh dear. No, I would say that pin kit, I know where I'd get it from straight away. I can get it tomorrow. Millfield Auto Parts in Peterborough, they'd probably have that pin kit on the shelf. It's all right, just got a message. Yeah, if you find a Motor Factors somewhere, they'll get one, no problem for you. They'd probably sell you a kit, but they might just sell the one pin. So that's what I would do. Search your local, wherever you are, search for your local Motor Factors. And they all sell toolkits and timing kits and all that. So I've got loads and loads of no sounds. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to skip through it. Arsenal Gooner. You're a new channel here. Hello. Why can't we get Mark 5 Mondeo engines? That's why I'm here asking the question. I've come to the conclusion that it's a combination of things. Number one, there really isn't that many Mark 5 Mondeos on the road, and all the ones that were smashed up, the engines have been sold, and there's just a lack of them now. And as far as Ford go, their engines are back order at their factory, which I can assume is going to be in Germany. I don't know the reason for that. I don't know why them engines are on back order. It seems a bit. Maybe they can't get the parts for them. I don't know. I'd have to sort of like really look into that and try and find. I might ask the Ford guy when he comes around. Does he know why they're on back order? Is there any way we can find out? I probably will ask him when he comes around again. But it's like rear suspension arms for these Mondeos. There was a point about a year ago we couldn't get the bloody arms. We had to wait and wait and wait for ages. They were on back order. Ever since the bloody COVID, there's been nothing but supply chain problems, and bits that were once plentiful all of a sudden just seem to have dried up. So yeah, I could do with a couple of engines right now, no problem. It's just finding them. I didn't actually realise, Ed. My woman phoned me up and told me. She goes, "There's no audio. There's no audio." You didn't think I was going to notice. Right. Anyway, let's carry on. What's this one here? Alfie Hunt. Hello. Mark 5 2-litre titanium, 180 brake horsepower, 86k, bought from a salvage auction, no keys, £3,200. It's the nicest car I've ever had and drives amazing, so smooth and so much power. I went to Essex and back from Cardiff, £50 fuel. That's good. Well, they are nice cars. They're very nice to drive and they're very comfortable. And they're not bad. They go pretty well. Just look after your engine at the minute. There's a bit of a shortage of them, but yeah, they are. I do rate these cars a lot. I rate, even though the engines are going wrong where we are. It's because they're taxis and they're done a heck of a lot of mileage. I mean, the engines we get when they blow up, they're all around about 300,000 miles or more. So I mean, and you've got to remember, they're not lovingly looked after by one person. They're workhorses. You know, the drivers get in them, and they're out there to make money. So they're probably a lot of them are probably caning it from here to there to everywhere to get to their next client and pick up, because it's private hire. They don't sit on a taxi rank. They have to work through an operator. So over the radio or their phone, they're given their next destination. They have to go race off to the next destination, pick the customers up, take them wherever they're going, drop them off, then race off to the next one. So I mean, they're on the go all the time. And there you go. Oh, we've got sound back. Yes, I've got to the point where the sound's back. Ken, if you're listening, Vivian Hughes has just said, well done to the person who that was the phone call I got. That was my woman Ken telling me there was no sound. But anyway, it's all sorted now. So I'll have to keep her around for the next one when we have the next bloody live stream problem. Yeah, I did pretty much repeat everything I said in the first 10 minutes, so no problem. Yeah, that's right. What's the point in having a teenager in your house if he can't fix the audio? I'll tell you what he can fix. He can fix anything on the PlayStation. But it's not going to fix anything on this bloody old computer. This computer's a flipping 2011, and it's Apple, so it's like it's over the 10 years old. It doesn't get updated no more. Oh, I've had this one. What's this one? Amicus 5000. You're another new channel I've never heard of. Hello, mate. Love all the videos. Well, thank you very much. And it's great to see you stop by on my little puny little channel. It's nice to see new people here. Chris, yep, let's do a video on it. So if I can get the time, I'll have I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just do the introduction bit, and then you can just, and I'll have the package of information that you sent me, and then you can just go through it, and I'll sit there with you, and you can just tell me the whole experience. Chris here has gone into depth with the electronic steering racks on these Mark 5 Mondeos. I won't go too much into it here, but he had a problem with his steering rack, and he has gone to Ford and he's tried to get some compensation out of them and make them acknowledge that there's a problem with the racks. And he sort of he didn't give up. He carried on at them. He kept badgering them until he got a result. So that's coming for the future. So Chris doesn't give up. So that's the moral of the story. So we're going to do a little piece together. Hopefully when he comes down, and we'll work something out. So yeah, excellent. Yeah, that'd be good for us to do. That'd be interesting. Yeah, video on steering racks. Yeah. Mr. Cozzy, hello, in the kitchen from Germany. Well, thank you very much for stopping by. I'll tell you what, I'm seeing a lot of people I've never heard of before. You're new to this channel, but yeah, it's great. Germany as well. This one's great. Can you explain how you muted yourself so I can try it on the wife? Classic. Oh my God. That was funny. I like that one. Retired truckers garage. Evening, Mr. Howard. Well, hello to you as well. How are you doing? What is the time? I only intended to run this for about an hour, so I shan't go on for too long. But like I said earlier, the main purpose was to bang on about I can't get an engine for a Mark 5 Mondeo 2-litre diesel. I can't find one. So here, do you want to laugh? Do you want to laugh? I got a little red letter today. Does anybody know what comes in a red envelope? And it doesn't smell nice. It's not perfumed or nothing. It's not from a woman. If I turn it around, it says official notice. now are you guessing where it's come from? I get a lot of these. Shall we have a little read? This is where all these shit goes, you know, in the bloody trash can. Let's see what they've got to tell me today. They just don't give up, you see. Please read carefully, it says. Oh my God. You are in breach of the Communications Act 2003. But then it says, if you, it's kind of like you're in breach. We believe you're watching TV. That's what they're trying to sell. If you watch or record live TV programs on any channel or device, or download or watch BBC programs on iPlayer. At 30, I can't get my address out, but do you know something? The sad part about all this, and if any of you do this, you'll understand this. When I cancelled my TV license, I went to the BBC website and I wrote them a message and I said, I no longer watch TV. I don't watch the iPlayer. I don't watch live TV or download anything. In fact, I don't watch TV anymore at all because, hey, guess what? I make my own bloody entertainment. I'm doing live streams. I do videos. I don't need to watch the goddamn lefty bullshit on bloody BBC anymore. And they wrote back to me. And they said, thank you very much for cancelling your TV license. We will cancel your direct debit at the end of the month. And that's what they did. And I thought, great. I went through the proper channels and that was the end of it. 1 month later, in comes the first letter. Our records show we have no record of a license at your address. And so what they're trying, so everything I wrote was a waste of time. They don't care. They're just going to keep on writing their threatening letters in the hope that you might think, oh my God, I'm going to have an enforcement officer come to the door. They've been threatening me with enforcement officers coming to the door for the last 3 years. But as I know how the bloody idiots work, and they work in a little group, and every time they cover this area, I'm not in anyway because I'm at work. So they'll put a little note, they've only once or twice they put a little card through the door saying, we were the TV enforcement officers, we visited your address. Well, it's too bloody late now, isn't it? Because I wasn't in anyway. So you can't be peeping through the curtains and catch me watching TV because I was at bloody work. So anyway, do you know, and the letters, they go round in a great big circle. They start off with sort of like little mild letters, and they get more and more threatening. And then it's like, we're going to send someone round to your door. If we catch you watching live TV, you could be prosecuted. Fuck off. That's all I've got to say. In the bin. Do you know what? If I had all them letters that BBC has sent me, they'd be like that now. They ain't going to get a goddamn penny out of me. I'm talking about BBC, the biased broadcasting company. Anyway, let me carry on. Enough of that.
Sounds so aggressive.
Because they keep sending me bullshit letters. They just want me to pay money to them so they can fund bloody terrorism.
Yes.
That's what they do. Hope not hate. That's a terrorist group. They fund it. The BBC fund it. Why should I give them money to fund their leftist bullshit? Anyway, enough politics. Let me carry on. I'm going to keep this. I've got another 5 minutes, and then I'm going to sort of like have to call it a day.
Alright, Dad, my update for PS5 is just done, yeah? I have to copy all the games.
PlayStation 5. How long has this update been going on for?
A whole day.
How many hours is that?
24 hours.
About 24 hours for an update on a PS5. I thought the PS5 was quick. Like snap, it's done.
No, because my extended storage, I was downloading all the PS5 games on the console storage, and to put them on the extended storage, I had to transfer them, like, all the data. I had like 400 gigabytes worth of games on my console.
400 gigabytes worth of games. Oh my God Almighty!
No, it used to be worse because on the PS4.
I'd say you've got an addiction problem with that.
Says you.
Anyway, I've got to carry on with this.
Alright, then. I'm still playing PS4.
Hello, Mark 5 timing chain issues. Had to get one from a Cougar. Same engine, different wiring loom. £2,400, full engine. Yeah, and do you know what? That is exactly the kind of price you're going to be looking to pay for at the minute. When you say you had timing chain issues, what do you mean timing? Was the chain just loose? Because we have lots of timing chain issues. I changed the timing chain literally yesterday, and it's part of the video that I'm going to put out this weekend. It's not about the chain, it's something else that was related, and the chain was just something that was part of the problem as well, which I had to deal with. You know, how to kill a day changing a timing chain in one of them engines. Like, I keep the chains, the tensioners, and all the gaskets. I keep about 3 lots of them in stock all the time. Just so I know when one comes in the door and is rattling, I can just do it on the spot. But yeah, the price of these engines, second-hand engines, are well expensive now. But the problem I've got, as I keep saying, I can't even find an engine. So if anyone's got one, let's have it. Fortingo, hi Alan, how durable is Mark 3 V6 ST220 engine? 1 million miles? I've not heard of one do 1 million miles, but yeah, that would be a lot of time sitting on that bloody driver's seat to clock that kind of mileage up. But I have heard they are what's called bulletproof engines. They obviously do go wrong, but if you look after them, they're a pretty damn good engine. They're what's called a proven engine. They're very good. Just look after them, make sure they're serviced properly, and they'll look after you. I haven't heard anything negative about them, really. Don't even ask me to say your name. But it's hello from Bulgaria. I wouldn't even know how to pronounce that. But anyway, thank you very much, and hello to you. You're new here as well. I've never seen you. I would have mentioned your name before, because it's like, how do you even say that? That's like, it's funny, different languages, isn't it? Especially like, that's obviously like a Bulgarian name. how would you pronounce it? Most modern engines are non-remachinable now. That's what I'm beginning to think as well. Especially when years ago, when we had like Ford Sierras and Granadas, the Pinto engines, CVH engines, things like that. You could send them off to your engine rebuilder, and they'd rebuild them, or they'll give you an engine they've already rebuilt, and no problem. We used to do it all the time. As the years have gone on, it's just been, in most cases, it's just been easier to get a second-hand engine and just bung it in. It was only the other day when I started looking into actually getting engines rebuilt that I was just getting, no, we can't do that. So it's like, does anybody rebuild engines anymore? Or is it just someone in a shed somewhere? Because all the major engine rebuilders that I used to know don't seem to want to be doing that anymore. So it's bizarre how things change. Johan, can you fit an engine from a Peugeot? You probably can. The thing is, with this particular engine, they're fitted in various different cars. So that they're not just fitted in the Mk5 Mondeo. They'll be in a whole host of other different makes of car. They'll obviously have probably various different things on them, but the actual engine itself will probably be the same. So it's just finding them though. But the thing is, if you go by the engine code, which the code for this one is T7CF, if you type into like eBay T7CF, it will come up straight away with engine, because eBay recognises that. And if anybody out there is selling an engine, regardless of what car it comes out of, it will show it up in the listings. But I can't find one. So I'm going to keep looking though, because obviously a car's going to get wrote off or something, and there will be an engine eventually come along for sale. But it's just a while back, it was no problem. You could get one, just pick the phone up and you'll get one. Now it's just, I just can't find one. So I shall keep looking anyway. Hello Mark, how are you? I met Mark, well, you come up to me, didn't you, in Peterborough, in the Ford car show. So nice to see you there. Ford Mondeo Mark IV parking sensors not working. Button has power. Yeah, that could be tricky. I believe there's something in the back panels somewhere, some little control unit. All the cars we used to have never had parking sensors, but the one car I did look at, we didn't get to the bottom of it because he just sort of stopped by and we had a quick look, but it started getting a little bit involved. But there are tests you can do. So I guess the first test is to start with your parking sensors. I think if you go onto Google or YouTube or something, there's a certain test you can do with your phone, I think, to test the actual sensors. So if you can actually make sure it's not the sensors that are faulty, then it could be something else in the car, like the control unit that controls the sensors. So somebody would literally have to look at that and and try and work step by step until you get to the end of the problem. It's not going to be like a straightforward, that's the problem, unless it's somebody who knows, who's dealt with this time and time again and instinctively knows, oh, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But I don't, because I don't really deal with parking sensors. Stricado. a friend, taxi driver, had to get his replacement engine from America. It was a Recon and cost 7 flipping heck. Oh my God. You could buy another car for that. What is that? It could have bought a dog rough Mondeo Mark 5 for that with a good engine in it and just took it out cheaper. That's a lot of money to pay to get an engine. Oh my God. Hi Sam. Sorry for the late arrival. I've been in hospital with a friend. I hope your friend's okay. Anyway, thank you for stopping by, Sam. I'm about to call it a day in a minute. I only wanted to run for about an hour. What's this one? Mimi, hi mate, 2011 Mondeo 2-litre diesel. The gear shifter into first is crap. Any ideas? I would probably check your cables, where the cables go onto the selector on the gearbox. If it's not if there's not something loose there that's obvious, you could have a problem with the actual gear selector that goes in the gearbox. And I think they just unbolt. It's about 3 or 4 10mm bolts, and the gear selector comes out. But what can happen is there's either a, do you know what? It's been a while since I've done this. There's either I think there's a roll pin that can break in this gear selector. So when you try and select gears, it's not selecting them correctly. It causes issues. You take the selector out. If you find a broken roll pin, you just knock it out and fit a new roll pin. We used to do quite a few. I think that's on the Mark 4 Mondeos. But yeah, you could have an issue like that. West Coast Dog. Hello. My friend's 03 petrol Mondeo alternator went wrong. I got him a used one, renewed the voltage regulator and bearings they put on the car, and it didn't charge. After renewing, it made 13.5 volt. Yeah. I would say, I mean, I'm not into rebuilding alternators, but I would just get one. I'll just get one off the shelf from the motor parts. But if 13.5 volt isn't terrible, it's like, it depends if it's got a smart charging system on it. I shouldn't think it would have on an 03 plate. But 13 point, I think most alternators charge between 13.5 and 14.5. So if it's within that range, then that's about right. You see, if it wasn't charging at all, it'd be down to like 12.6 volt or something like that. But a 13.5 volt, that is actually charging. That's more voltage than the battery is. The battery voltage is 12.6. So it is doing a bit. Can you not buy a crashed salvage Ford and use the engine from that? I haven't gone down that avenue yet, but it's just the price of everything at the minute. It's like, where do you stop? What kind of price would one of them cars cost? Most of these salvage cars, they get stripped anyway. And if they sell the whole car, it's probably because it's not actually that bad, and it's probably worth doing up. So it's still probably going to be a lot of money to buy one of them Mark 5s or anything else that's actually got one of them engines in it. Yeah, it's an option. It's certain. Thanks for Anthony. It's certainly an option. I'm going to keep looking because it's like I've got to find a few engines. I'd like one engine, so I'd like an engine for spare. But every time we get a spare engine, it gets used again because another engine blows up. So, but yeah. Oh well, I will try. I will try and do another live stream next week, where maybe I can just go through a few more comments and that. The only reason, once again, to put this live stream out was basically just to bang on about these Mark 5 Mondeo engines, and I'm having serious problems trying to find one. It's like, oh, and you're trying to deal with searching for engines while you're at work dealing with everything else that's coming through the door as well. And in my next video, which I'm hopefully going to put out Friday, or it might even go out Saturday, depends how I get on, is a classic case of a car with 320,000 miles on it. It comes in for, well, basically needs a service. It's in limp mode anyway. The engine management light's on, the spanner light's on the dash. It's got engine overheating. There's no coolant in the expansion bottle, and it's, you know, it's just a whole ton of problems on it that you have to go through to solve one great big problem, if you know what I mean. It's just a multitude of things wrong with these cars now. They're getting driven to destruction, and I can't fix them all. It's like it was easy when the cars had low mileage on them. They weren't a problem. They'd just come in, you'd give them a service, and then say bye, and they're off again. But now you're getting to the point where the more and more mileage they're getting on them, they're coming out with more and more problems that I haven't got the answer to. And there's one guy, he's messaged me today, I haven't replied to him yet. He's in Australia. He's got one of these Mondeo 2-litre diesels that the engine oil level is rising on. And he doesn't know what the answer to that is, and he can't find no one over there who's got the answer to it. And funnily enough, I've got one of the taxis here that has the same problem. The engine oil level keeps rising. And I haven't really gone into this on YouTube yet, because I was hoping to get to the bottom of it, and I was going to make one big story about it and put it out as a video. I've gone so far now, but I've just done another thing to it, which means the car is sat in the yard at the minute waiting for the driver to get back into it to go and test it. So it's an ongoing process at the minute. I haven't got to the bottom of it yet. I keep doing one thing to it, getting the car tested and see if it cures it. So what I've done to it now might cure it. I don't know until the driver drives the bloody car. Trouble is, he has to drive it for about a week before I can say, yeah, that's definitely rising. So I will keep everybody informed with that problem, because if that is one problem I really do want to get to the bottom of. It's really getting to me. It's like a bloody quest. I'm going to have to fix this one. So I will be coming out with it eventually. Come hell or high water, I will fix this one. Anyway, I better just put this one up. Historical Association White Stars. Yes, Alan, I am Damien from Poland. I would like to send you a joint photo via Facebook or email. Yes, because we had our picture taken while we were here. These two guys here, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. They come over from Poland. They visited London, went for a trip around London. Then they come all the way from London up to and visited me, and I felt really privileged. So I had to drag Monica out of the office as well to come and stand there and say hello. They'd come a long way to sort of like shake our hands. So thank you very much, guys. It is absolutely fantastic for coming to visit me. It really was something. So yeah, but you can. What I'll do, I don't have Facebook because Mark Zuckerberg, well, I got rid of him long ago. But I'll give you my email. I'll stick my email in this live stream in the description below after I've done it. I'll stick my email there and you can send me that picture. I hope it's in focus. But anyway, thank you guys. I shall move on now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to call it a night because I'm running over time. But I've got a couple of things to do. I've got about at least 2 videos I've got to put out. I've got about 1,000 comments to catch up on. So anyone who's commented on this channel, on any of the videos I've put out, I'm sorry that I haven't answered you yet. I will get round to it as soon as I possibly can. And I will try and do another live stream every week if I possibly can. It might be once a fortnight, but I will try and be a bit more consistent. So, and I apologise for anyone I haven't actually answered your comments on, because it's like I never get through the comments anyway. I'm very lucky if I do. But anyway, guys, for everyone who's joined the live stream, thank you ever so much for joining in. And I will see you all guys in the next one. See ya.